Imagine a workflow where a user clicks their Datasphere link, sees an OKA prompt, and instantly accesses their data. No separate credentials, no friction. Achieving that workflow requires solving a common problem. As an enterprise ecosystem expands, managing isolated identities across different platforms creates password fatigue for users and introduces security vulnerabilities. The solution involves configuring SAP Cloud Identity Services, or IAS, to serve as a transparent proxy that relays authentication directly to a corporate standard like Okta. This diagram shows the architecture. An application request starts at Datasphere, routes through the IAS proxy, hits Okta, and returns an access key. To work, all three nodes must align on a single shared key, the user's exact email address. Before configuring, you need specific prerequisites: administrator access in your IAS environment, administrator access in Okta, and system owner privileges inside Datasphere. By routing authentication through a centralized proxy, you establish a single point of truth for identity. This reduces your attack surface and keeps the login experience consistent across your entire toolset. Step 1 is establishing cryptographic trust between the SAP service and Octava. We do this by performing a two-way exchange of configuration data, known as metadata. Start in the IAS portal, navigate to SAML 2.0 configuration, and download the tenant metadata XML file. You will need this file in a moment. Now move to Octava. Create a new SAML 2.0 web application to represent your SAP environment. To map the two systems, take the IAS ACS endpoint URL you generated and paste it directly into the Octava single sign-on URL fields. This UI mockup highlights the most common failure point in this setup. In your Octava application settings, the name ID format must be locked to email address. If this is set incorrectly, the systems will fail to map the users. Finish the Octava setup by exporting its configuration metadata as an XML file. Finally, close the loop. Return to IAS, create a new corporate identity provider, and upload the Octava XML file you just exported. Exchanging these files means IAS and Octava cryptographically trust each other. You have built a secure foundational bridge that any downstream SAP application can utilize. With the bridge built, step 2 is connecting our target application, SAP Datasphere, to the IAS environment. Keep in mind you must be logged in as a system owner in Datasphere to access these specific security menus. In Datasphere, navigate to the SAML Single Sign-On tab and download the service provider metadata. Back in IAS, create a new SAP Datasphere solution application and upload the Datasphere metadata. Complete the mapping in IAS by configuring the subject name identifier. Set email as primary attribute. For the return trip, download the IAS tenant metadata and upload it into Datasphere, completing the exchange. Looking at the Datasphere SAML configuration screen, you must perform a mandatory check before saving. Enter your system owner email address and click the Verify Account button. Do not skip this prompt. If you click Save prematurely without verifying, you will break the mapping and lock out the configuration. Once verified, Datasphere explicitly recognizes IAS as its gatekeeper. The three-way trust triangle is complete. Trust is established, but the setup is not entirely finished. By default, IAS is still configured to act as an active authenticator, meaning it will try to handle user logins itself. This diagram illustrates conditional authentication in IAS. This feature dynamically reroutes login requests based on specific rules, pointing traffic toward an external server. Update the conditional authentication rules for Datasphere, setting the default identity provider to Okta. This locks the corporate path into place. To test the configuration, open an incognito or private browser session so cached credentials do not interfere, and navigate directly to your Datasphere tenant URL. Activating this rule officially turns IAS into an invisible proxy. It pushes authentication straight to your Okta standard, bypassing the middleman from the user's perspective. In your test browser, you will see the immediate result. The system instantly redirects to the corporate Okta screen, accepts the credentials, and seamlessly drops the user into their Datasphere workspace. Eliminating password fatigue provides measurable enterprise value. By enforcing corporate multi-factor authentication policies globally, you secure the data architecture and reduce the volume of IT support tickets for password resets. Check the video description below for direct links to the official SAP notes and step-by-step documentation detailing this configuration. A modern data strategy relies on a modern security strategy. Establishing seamless access is the first step towards faster, more accessible analytics. Subscribe to the channel for more technical architecture guides.